Hi, Mandy. Thanks very much for joining me today. My name's Cathy Mellett, and I am the starting member of a charity called I'm Enough. Mandy, I'm welcoming you on a call again, and it's always lovely to meet with you in this space, although I do know we often catch up in other capacities. To start off, do you want to give a little bit of background as to how you came to be in this mindfulness and mindset area?
Well, hi, I'm Mandy Beverley, and thank you for inviting me along. I just think it's such a worthwhile cause, only because I'm all about how to empower people. I love people to be able to step into the potential and the possibilities that exist for them. And by having a mindset that's resourceful and flexible and in a growth orientation really helps us become the best that we can be. So for me, I've been fascinated for years with how the mind works, and so I'm really lucky that I get to work with the mind and developing intuition and all the things that help us have way more, not control necessarily, but a term that I really love is sort of self-governance, which means the ability to actually govern our emotions and our way of being in the world.
And Mandy, that probably leads us straight into the topic that we do want to cover today, and it's something that I hear so often amongst our young people, and that is one of my friends are being mean to me, whether it's online or offline.
Yeah.
What advice would you have under those circumstances?
Well, first of all, I just want to take a back step and just say, let's have a look at what universal energy is made up of. Okay, so universal energy needs both a positive and a negative to create light. Now, it's not me making it up. This is physics. Okay, this is electromagnetics. All of this thing. We need a positive and a negative to create light. So if we need that to exist to create light on a bigger picture, then we also need it for our emotions as well and in our mindset. So if we need a positive and a negative to create light, then we're going to have a balance of both criticism and praise, or challenge and support, or people being mean and nice to us. So this is like a universal concept, but how does it relate to us going through real life? Is you're going to have a balance of both people being mean to you and people being nice to you. Now, the problem is that as human beings, we want to have pleasure without any pain. But our higher-minded part of us, the spiritual part of us, if you want to say, that actually can see that you need both sides. Okay, so just like we need day and night, just like there's up and down, and just like there's laws of gravity that none of us have been able to ever, we can't ever, as soon as we jump, we definitely come back down to the ground again.
Unless we're in outer space.
Yeah, that's it. So there's laws of the universe that guide us, control us, all of us. And one of them is the ability to have a positive and a negative at exactly the same moment. Okay, and so when your friend is being mean to you, if you can ask the question straight away, well, who was being nice to me in that same moment? You will find it's there every single time. It may take a little while to get a little handle on how to ask that, but there is always a balance. Okay, so that is the law. There's always a balance of both energies. But if we're focusing only on people being mean, then that's all we're going to see, because that's the reality we create for ourselves out of the story we tell ourselves. But in actual fact, you may find that someone's observing that person being really mean, and they are going, that's not fair. They may not say much, but they're just standing quietly, and your intuition will know that that's someone there supporting you. So it sounds a bit different, but if you know that you cannot have a positive without a negative happening at exactly the same moment, then go looking for where the support is.
That sounds like a real mind moment where you actually have to go, I'm feeling bullied, or I'm feeling like somebody's being mean to me, stop. And then to actually go, so what is the positive that is happening in the same moment? Is that what you're trying
It's
to
pretty much
say?
that. Yeah, it's like, it's very hard to, when things are happening to us and someone's being mean to us, it's very hard to go, to really go against the emotion. But if you can just ask a question that reveals the other side, that makes your mind go and look for the other side, then that can actually help you in that moment just stop going to such the depths of despair, or that real emotional, everyone's being mean to me. It's like, hang on a minute, who is not being mean to me in this moment? Who is actually being quite kind? Who is looking out for me? And it's generally there will be somebody there, but you're not aware of it when you're in the story of people being mean. So
How do you
it's quite a
how do you feel about, so with my children, I'll often talk to them about that person being mean, but by the same token, I will ask them to take a step back out the situation and reflect on the giver of meanness, and almost at a point where you're questioning what's going on in that person's life that is causing them to use this language or to act out in that fashion. Is there any value
that's
in doing that?
Oh, absolutely. That's a very mature way of doing it, but often we don't feel very mature in the moment. And so it's really hard to go, actually, what is it about them? Every human being has every trait. Okay, so all of us can be mean, all of us can be kind, all of us can be happy, all of us can be sad. We have every trait, and we need them, okay, to play in this big universal world that we belong in. But we're a mixture of all these traits as well. So just like someone's been mean to us, we've also been mean to others. Mm-hmm. So part of actually dropping the charge, or dropping that feeling that someone's against you, is to actually recognize, all right, so who have I been mean to? Because you've done exactly what you're receiving. But we just don't want to look at that, because we think that we're actually perfect all of the time, and we're perfect in an imperfect way. So if you're worried that someone's been really mean to you, just look for the other side first of all. Just literally look in that moment. It's right there, okay? And your intuition will reveal it to you. It will show you if you go looking for it. And then afterwards, then you can step back and you can reflect. Or you can actually go, well, where am I being mean to someone? Okay, and just take ownership of, where have you been mean? Well, you might have been mean to your mum that morning, or you might have been mean to your dog, or you might have been, mean to your little sister or your little brother, because we've all done it, and we all do it on a daily basis. So if we go about thinking that everyone is better than us and everyone is always perfect, or we never do things that are bad, then we're going to find that we build stories up that just keep that story going. But if you can actually take ownership and go, right, I have been mean this morning. Okay, so so it just drops the charge, so to speak.
Wow, I think it's a very valuable tip in terms of taking the charge out of the moment, looking for something at that point in time that can help you cope with what's coming your way. A really interesting conversation that I had around those words that come your way, and I think it was yourself and myself, Mandy, when we had the discussion about the green hair. And that was, if somebody says to you, you've got green hair, you go, well, no, I don't. But yet if somebody calls you a name, why do you tend to absorb that?
Yeah, exactly. Why do you? It's a really good question, and I think it's a I actually just think why, because I'm like, what is the answer to that? And I don't really have one. But what I'm thinking is, why do we take it on board? It's like, it's almost saying, why am I going to take that on board? Or am I going to take that on board? Again, I think it's really important that we look at the power of questions to actually, instead of just accepting stuff, because there's sometimes when people go, well, you're lazy, you haven't worked very hard, you haven't done that, and you go, yep, they're absolutely right, because I've binge watched something for the last little while. But if someone is saying something and you are hurt by it, then it is, and it's making you feel bad. That is your intuition telling you that you don't need to take it on board. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So it's like, well, or if they say, well, you're mean, you're really mean and nasty, if you can own the moments where you are mean and nasty, then they can't get at you, because you already go, yep, I'm mean and nasty. Yep, I was mean and nasty this morning. So there's nowhere for it to go. But if you're trying to hide who you truly are, and they go, you're mean and nasty, and then you go, oh my God, they saw me, and then you take it on board and you give it more importance than what it is. But if you know that it doesn't really belong in that conversation, then you can just go, you know what, I don't think I really want to take that on board. Okay, maybe I'll look later where I've been mean and nasty, because I probably have been a little bit.
The things that I'm listening and sort of at a higher level, I'm really thinking that a lot of this is taking back your own power yes. To absorb, power to not absorb, power to reflect, and power to stand in that very moment and make the decision about how you're going to react to what somebody else is saying to you.
And I think it's all about power, because we are powerful beings. Okay, we have so much power we don't know. They say we're only using 10% of our brain. Okay, now our minds are really powerful, and our minds are our beliefs and our perceptions, and because our perceptions will create our beliefs, which will create our actions. So that's the level where I work at, is with the mind, because it can influence our brain, it can influence our body. But if you stand in that power of going, I have power, it's about valuing. It's all about valuing who you are, and it takes a while. I mean, we're the age we are, and we still fluctuate with this. So if you're a teenager, just know it's something that you're gonna fluctuate throughout life, with feeling good, not feeling so good. You're going to do it all. But if you can just understand that you're going to need both positive and negative to grow as a human being, to grow as a person that's living on this earth, in this universe, you're here to grow. So you need both the positive and the negative, because if you're only getting positive, you want to party all the time. Okay? But it's not till the negative stuff that comes in that it actually makes us want to look at ourselves, and sometimes it really urges us on. Sometimes we go, well, stuff you, I'm going to actually show you, because sometimes success is the best revenge for mean people. And so we need a balance of both. So we're going to get it. And if we keep looking for praise all the time, we're going to attract people being mean and critical to us. Okay, but if we are going, well, what would be really challenging for me to do? What is something I would really love to do and to work towards and to put my energy towards? Well, then that way the support has to come in, because you're challenging yourself. So now you're turning it around. That's what I believe is the secret. Okay, as to what is a big, audacious challenge that I can go towards, that is going to fill me with energy and inspiration and things of that nature. What can I do to do that? And just watch the support come in. Wow, just like what you're doing with this. You've created a big challenge because it's a big topic.
It is a big topic.
Support's coming to you.
Absolutely, and I've been blown away with how many people are sort of coming out with different strategies, and I think not everything will work for everyone, but we're trying to put a raft of things together so that our young people can find something that will work for them in that very moment when they're feeling unsettled.
Definitely. But I think it's really important that we give our young people all of us actually. It doesn't really matter what age we are. If we give them the universal concepts, because we're playing with a rule book that we don't know what the rules are. Okay, so we're playing in the universe with universal laws, and half the time we don't know what they are, and we're wondering why we keep hitting brick walls all the time, or obstacles, or beating ourselves up and things like that. So I think sometimes, just to have an awareness is a great idea.
Awesome. Well, Mandy, once again, it's been incredibly insightful speaking to you, and I want to thank you for giving up your time. Would you like to share where people could get in touch with you if they wanted to continue the conversation? Oh, look, my cat's just popped into the background. If they'd like to get in touch with you after listening to this video, if you'd like to share your
Sure. You can contact me through remarkablegroup.co.nz. And so there's just click on contacts and it'll take you to email address info@remarkablegroup.co.nz.
Thanks very much, Mandy.